Greetings, instructors. I want to walk through with you how to create a course and add users in the MHFA Connect platform. So this is going to be a little bit different and a little bit more streamlined than how it is listed in the MHFA Connect user guide that they had originally come out about a year ago. This is actually the way we have kind of learned is a little bit more of an efficient approach. So the steps really are as follows. And as you can just see, the first step is to create the course name. Second step is to customize the course. The third step is to create the user's account. The fourth step is to add the users to the course. So those are the steps that we're going to walk through together. So to show you what we're doing here, we've got the very first step, which is courses. Okay, so I just want to make sure that the Connect page was actually displaying. It didn't get stuck on the Word document, so my apologies. So our first step is going to be to go to courses. And as I mentioned, the first step is to create the course name. So in order to do this, I want to scroll down through, and it might require me to go a couple pages over. And I'm looking for the template that says do not modify that matches with the class that I'm looking for. So let's say I want to create a full in-person adult. So I'm going to find this one says do not modify, and it's the template. So I'm going to go over here to the far right, and there's 3 dots. I'm going to hit copy to. It's going to automatically default to draft. I'm going to hit copy. Once I do this, I'm going to see it in black and white at the top. It gets stuck here for some reason, so I always just hit the refresh button because I want it to be in orange so that I can modify it. So now I've got the class. Now I want to rename the class. And this is starting that process of customizing it. So National Council has requested us to put the classes in this order, and that is starting with the date. So let's say that this class is going to be April 1st, 2023, and it's going to be 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And then I'm going to put Eastern Standard Time. And then I'm going to come over here to where it's all of this copy, and template, get rid of that piece. And then I'm going to put in the instructor name. So this will be myself. And then let's say I have a co-instructor. I'll just put comma, and then let's say it's Janet Gora. That's how they want that information published. Then this second line where it's course reference code, this is actually a message to us to remember to customize, enter in that custom course data. So there's nothing we have to do with this. We're not going to do anything other than just delete that message. So at this point, I need to save my title. I've created my title. My first step is already done, so I can check mark that. So I've got my title. Now my next step then is to customize the course. So I'm going to go to custom course data, which is on the same screen. I'm going to add my co-instructor's name. And I'm going to go over here to co-instructor email. It should show up by default. If for some reason you're having any issues in the email for the co-instructor does not show up, you're going to want to reach out to the coordinator as well as to the other instructor and let them know, because there's an issue with where they are categorized. And the coordinator is going to need to make an adjustment with that. And we can do that on our end to kind of offer some assistance. The next line here, course delivery format, this just confirms that, okay, I picked the right class. This is meant to be a completely in-person course. All right, if teaching to an organization, the name of the organization. So let's call it the Mental Health Clinic. And school district, if applicable. Course is full, I'm always going to say yes. And this is what prevents people from anywhere in the United States popping in, seeing that there's a class available and popping in and joining the class. Because again, I don't want people just coming into the classroom. Course contact email. Again, this is going to be whatever email I'm comfortable with them reaching out to me should they have a question. ILT venue name or URL. This is where I can put the Zoom link if I have that created already, if it's a virtual class. ILT venue city, pretty self-explanatory. And then certainly here's the ILT street address and zip code. Where is the class going to be held? That's what that ILT is referring to. My intended audience, whatever's applicable, so we'll call it healthcare in this case. Funding source is always going to be state. Display on the mental health first aid website. Again, I'm going to say no for the same reasons I said before. I don't want other people being able to see that this class is available and possibly plugging in. Then here's my phone number that they can reach me at should the participants have any issues. Cost for participant is always going to be $0 under this project. All of these fields that say do not modify, do not modify. Nice and easy. So go ahead and hit save at this point. So again, now I've customized my course. I've got step 1 done. I've got step 2 done. Now I can publish the course. So I'm going to go up to actions and I'm going to have the option to publish the course. So are you sure you want to publish the course? Yes. So again, this means it's a legitimate course now at this point. So my next step then is I need to create my users. Actually, before I create my users, I have one more step of customization that I need to do, and that is to fix the time on the course. So one last step of customization is I go to content and go to instructor-led session. And I'll explain why we're doing this, but you can see this information is what's going to go out to the participants, and I need to make sure that this matches up with what we're actually doing. So my starting date and time is what I need to fix here. So my starting date, again, I can go to my calendar and use the calendar to do that. So April 1st, and my starting time is 9 o'clock. My ending time then is April 1st at 5:30. I don't think I have the option to do 5:30, so I'm going to do 6 o'clock. Capacity always stays at 30. Course instructors, course owner, which is always going to be me, the person creating the course. Location, now this comes in handy. This is how I know when the course is created. I want to make sure that we're all on the same time zone. So again, it's going to come up. If I put Ohio, it's Eastern Standard Time, or if you're in Kentucky, you just put Kentucky in. But the time zone, of course, is going to be the same. You don't need to worry about anything here in the description at this time. You can just leave that as is for now. And go ahead and hit save. All right, now we can start our third step, which is to create the accounts for the users. So to do this, we're going to go to users. And we're going to go to actions. And where it says we have the option to create or invite. So in the user guide, it says to invite. We bypass that invitation step and just create the accounts for the participant. It just seems to eliminate one more hassle for the participants that we don't want them having to go through. So in order to create the course, the account for the participants, what you do is go to create, and we're going to enter in their name. So we're going to say it's John Smith, and email address is jsmith123@gmail.com. What I do, I will tell you that for this, I actually just copy and paste straight from the Excel roster that I get from the coordinators. The reason for this is I'm not confident in my spelling enough to trust that I'm going to get all these translated correctly. So I just toggle back and forth and just keep copying and pasting. Be careful though when you're doing this that there's not a space after the name, after the .com. That will mess things up. So it is very sensitive to spaces and everything. So after you put the email address in, you're going to go down here where it says send invite to user. Again, we're creating an account for them. So unclick that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a password for them, a generic password. And for our project, it is MHFA 2021, the @ symbol, and then lowercase JOIN. So MHFA 2021 @join. And I'll go ahead and show you that. And that is the password. That's the generic password that matches up with all of our email templates. So as you're using our email templates that get sent out 2 weeks out, 1 week out, 2 days before, that is what corresponds. So you want to make sure that that matches with the capitalization and lowercase characters as well. So now at this point, then I want to mark user must change password on login. So again, it just has you enter it twice just to confirm. Don't get caught. Don't worry about this account expiry date. Don't change that. Don't just ignore that. Then I'm going to go ahead and save. And what I'm going to do then is do this same process 28 more times or 30 more times, however many users I have. So I just go line by line through my roster again, copying and pasting into that email address. So now I've created the accounts for the users. Once they get the invitations, once they get the login information, they'll actually have an opportunity to add the rest of their information. Just so you know, they can put the rest of their the data that they collect for that. But we've got the bare minimum to at least get them started. So now what I need to do, so I've got step 1, which was to name the course. Step 2, which was to customize the course. Step 3 is to create the users' accounts. Now I need to get my users into my class. That's step 4. So in order to do that, I'm going to go back to courses. And I'm going to find the course that corresponds with the one that I just created. So here I have April 1st. That was full in person. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to go to content. So the piece in the middle is content. I'm going to go to instructor-led session. That's the only item that's highlighted. It's the only one I can go to that has a link to it. So that keeps it easy. And now I'm going to go to manage attendees. And here I'm going to go up to actions now. And this is going to give me the option to add users. So I'm going to add my user, and actually you can do more than one of these at a time. So here I'm going to do John Smith, 1, 2, 3. So I can actually add, if I have all 28 of my participants, I can go ahead and just add them all in here and then go ahead and hit enroll. I'm not going to do this now because this isn't a real class, but I'll go ahead and cancel. Once I've gone through and hit everybody, they're all going to show up on here. They're going to show on this list. Once I have this on here, I will tell you then, I'll be able to actually download a roster template. And this is a nice one. It's a little bit larger of a font than the Excel spreadsheet. So when I actually go to take attendance, whether I'm doing a virtual class or it's an in-person class, I do use that roster template to take the attendance. So that is somewhat helpful. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to answer any questions anybody has. My email is bswihart@mhankyswoh.org. Thank you very much.